Trump shooting has inspired quite a lot of reactions. There are some major reactions, which I'm not going to touch on too much today because, yes, I'm talking about Destiny. I've got a full segment planned that I'm going to do on him tomorrow because his absolute meltdown requires space all its own.
It was entirely
analyze.
predictable as well. Not being funny, lots of people platform Destiny as a pro-Israel left-winger in the last 6 months, but he's always hated us. He's always been a non-credible human being. Someone said that he was...
He's not the one reasonable liberal.
No, he literally pimps out his wife for other men to have sex with. Ex-wife. Predictably so. Also, apparently, there was a time where he might be coming to the UK, and there might have been a contemplation to do a debate here. I'm glad to have been always against that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to be gained from speaking to him, especially after how he's revealed himself. But that's not what this segment is about. This segment is a more general examination of how the Trump assassination attempt has broken the left, mainly in the rhetoric, because a lot of them seem to want to backpedal, but it's maybe a bit too late for some of them to backpedal. They've gone a bit too far. And then there are some on the left, the kind of blue and on left, who just think the thing outright was staged from the beginning, that the guy who died, Corey Compadre, was that his name?
Yes.
Yeah, that he was either some kind of crisis actor prop or was sacrificed for the sake of making Donald Trump look good, which I've got to say,
That's evil.
That is evil. Whatever you want to say about Thomas Crook, the man who fired the shots and is, thank God, dead, I don't think he would be that good a shot to be able to narrowly miss Donald Trump's head and catch his ear on purpose.
At the exact moment he slightly turns it to look at an illegal immigration graph.
Those rehearsals, if they do have something to do with this, those must have been some very thorough rehearsals.
I want to point this out. They tried suing Alex Jones for more than the GDP...
Successfully
more than the GDP of France they originally asked for.
Oh, the 2.75 trillion.
Yeah.
That was the number. I looked into that. Not just more than the GDP of France, almost the entire GDP of Africa.
Yes, quite. Anyone gonna take this up with the blue and on crowd who are openly denying the death of a man in a shooting? No?
Well, perhaps. If the same argument that applies to Alex Jones applies in this case, then if the people who are the family members of Corey end up getting harassed by insane left-wingers, and there are plenty of them to go around, like Antifa, for instance, if they end up getting harassed as a result of all of this, well then, yeah, they should be legally legally liable to be sued for potentially billions of dollars.
Yeah, and I hope that never happens, but if it does, I hope the right people assist them with that lawsuit.
Yeah, if the Alex Jones standard applies, which, I mean, it's in the books now.
It's now case law.
It's in the law books, yeah. But anyway, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was the Tenacious D reaction. Everybody's favorite band when they're a retarded 13-year-old. Sad to say, I include myself in that crowd.
I was never that fussed about Tenacious D, but I did grow up repeatedly watching School of Rock, so to see Jack Black's fall from grace has been very disappointing.
It's not that surprising, though, is it? It's not really that surprising. Jack Black is the guy who presents himself as a slovenly, lazy slob, and unsurprisingly has the kind of opinions you would expect from a person like that. Either way, the big controversy around it was this. At a recent gig in Australia over the weekend following the shooting, Kyle Gass, the guitarist, was having a birthday celebration, and this was what was said on stage when asked, "What would you like to wish for your birthday?"
Don't miss Trump next time. Thank you.
So funny. So funny, a guy died, Trump almost died. I believe 2 other people were critically injured in the shooting. So yeah, next time just don't miss. Great one. Good joke.
I've seen people excuse this as an edgy joke. I'd like to say 2 things. Number one, as you said, Corey died. He's left a family behind. They're absolutely distraught. And so there's no consideration given to that in their delusional hatred of Donald Trump. But also, I don't think this is purely a joke. I don't. Because you know in your gut, when people are exaggerating things for effect and it's funny, and it's usually joking because they have you in the same sphere of social consideration. This feels like we actually talk about this behind the scenes moment, and therefore I think it's acceptable to joke about, and only the reaction of the crowd and the wider media has made me realize I'm now in a delusional death cult. And so I think this is a mask slippage moment. I don't think it's a joke. I think it's said with half sincerity.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, do we really believe that the vast majority of those in the leftist media sphere don't wish that Donald Trump ate that bullet?
They've already said they did. So
yeah. I mean, do we really believe that that was just a joke? That was like if you get somebody, like if you're a woman and you get some guy in DMs going, wouldn't it be funny if you started sending me nudes or something? No, that's the truth, and you want to hide it as a joke.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, plausible deniability. Predictable results came from this because people weren't very happy. One of the most amusing results was that an Australian senator, Ralph Babbitt, called for the immediate deportation of the band. Pretty based response, if you asked me.
Well, they deported Novak Djokovic for less. They deported him because he tried to play in the Australian Open without getting the COVID vaccine.
He actually points this out in the letter that you see here. Australia wrongly locked up Novak Djokovic and deported him because he allegedly undermined public trust in vaccination. Allowing Tenacious D to remain in Australia after calling for the death of a president is unthinkable, and it affirms the weakness of our current Prime Minister. But don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. It turns out Tenacious D, Jack Black, and Kyle Gass both had a change of heart and realized after the public blowback what a terrible thing this was and how it was beyond the pale and how they shouldn't have said it. Phil, I love you. All that remains, great band, but it doesn't deserve praise. I'm sorry to say. Jack Black putting on his Instagram, I was blindsided by what was said on that show on Sunday. Ignore me laughing along.
Ignore me a week before the debate getting up on stage in American flag dungarees and endorsing Biden.
Yep. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue to the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I'm grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. So the way that we're being shown this right now is that after a pang of conscience, after a hit on the head that made him see the light and realize, that's a really horrible thing to say, maybe we should take some penance and step back and consider our actions. They spontaneously decided to cancel the rest of their tour and creative plans. Could it be that, or could it be, as this person decided to speculate, that all or most of the venues decided to cancel on them because now you're a security risk and our insurance won't cover you? And also, I'd imagine, one or two of those venue owners themselves probably just decided, you know what? I don't want this. If you're going to be doing this kind of thing on my stage, I don't want the bad publicity. And there's some more evidence for this as well, given that immediately following it, Kyle Gass lost his agent.
That'll be it.
Yeah, the agent dropped him. We have parted ways after what happened in Sydney, according to says Michael Green, who was head of Green Talent. So, no sympathy. No sympathy. At the end of the day, the left has been coming for the right, cancelling the right for saying clearly obvious and true things. James Damore, who I don't even know if was a conservative, was cancelled for saying that maybe women aren't interested in STEM as much as men are. Other people have been cancelled for saying that men can't be women. All sorts of things that are clear and obvious and true on the face of it. Maybe we shouldn't allow men into women's bathrooms and saunas or changing rooms. They get cancelled for it. These people cheer it on, treat it as though you deserve the death penalty for having said these things.
They tried to assert that Brett Kavanaugh was a gang rapist on the allegations that were completely unsubstantiated by 3 women and had suffered no consequences for that. They almost had him killed because an Antifa nutcase showed up outside his family home, ready to tie him up and shoot him. And so when they cheer all that on, but then suddenly wish for the death of a president and suddenly get consequences for that, good.
Yeah.
You're being strung up by your own standard. Don't care.
It's the cultural and political environment that you have fostered. And so I have absolutely no sympathy for this whatsoever. You'll see no tears from me. And then there are the other typical leftist responses which you expect, which is when Donald Trump made an appearance at the RNC and people decided to chant fight, 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 which was pretty badass, I can't lie. Because that was one of the more iconic moments, probably the most iconic moment from this whole event over the weekend, was Trump getting up, pumping his fist in the air and shouting, fight.
It was his Iwo Jima photo, yeah.
Yeah, clearly it was a show of courage and heroism and bravery, which I don't think anyone in the West has seen for years, if not maybe even decades. So of course people are going to do that, but that of course means it's Hitler.
Oh, the Straussian reductio ad Hitlerium is so exhausting.
This is Dean Obladiah from Sirius XM saying
They're still on.
Apparently so. I didn't know that people still watch them. Instantly conjures up rallies from 1930s Germany. These people literally see any group of people being positive in a large crowd and go, oh my God, this is just like Hitler.
Well, it's white people, let's be honest. Not any group of people. I mean, you can do the Black Power salute and call for genocide like Julius Malema in South Africa, and that's just fiery rhetoric. It's a protest song.
That's missing context, Connor.
Yes.
I think we need to consider the cultural environment that was said in.
Yeah, like massacring farmers.
Yeah, exactly, which is perfectly fine as long as they're white. Anyway, the other one, which is that, again, as I've mentioned, apparently, because Trump is a Chad and behaved in a Chadish way, this means that it was an attempted assassination, i.e. staged. So because of the fact that he went golfing the day after one of his supporters was killed, this means that it was staged and we should condemn him. Donald Trump has sent his condolences to the family, to the, I keep forgetting how to say the surname. Was it Pompadour?
I don't necessarily know how to pronounce it unless it's written down, but it's Corey's family.
Yeah, to Corey's family. And also, he wasn't responsible for the death. The shooter was responsible for the death. The fact that Donald Trump, the day after something that would be ordinarily traumatic to most people, was up and about having fun on a golf course, pretty remarkable. You know, I don't think Biden could do anything like that.
Biden isn't up and about when he's not being shot at.
Yeah, I mean, Biden would need a week to recover from trying to go up a flight of stairs. So the fact that Trump can show strength and endurance like this, they see as fearful. They don't understand it, so it must be fake. And then again, there's more people just outright saying it, like this person, I'm sorry to be this guy right now, and I await more details. But this just seems really convenient to happen right now after the world woke up to Project 2025. It's fishy as F.
The
Again,
world woke
sorry.
up to it because Trump said he disavowed parts of it. Project 2025 has been available to read as a book for ages. Like, I spoke to the people at NatCon that had written it, and they were like, yeah, the policy platform's just been open for a while. It's now become a meme that, like, Project 2025 will return Pizza Hut to the old decor. Like, it's because it's so absurd.
Project 2025 will get my support when it returns McDonald's fries to, what was it, beef batter?
Tallow.
Yeah, tallow, beef tallow.
Project 2025 will feed my abandoned Tamagotchi. Like,
it will rescue my Nintendogs. Thank God, I've been neglecting them for decades at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And probably the most libelous and lawsuit-worthy one that I've seen was the one that Tim Wise deleted. Tim anti-white hatred Wise said that fist pump S after Trump was shot is too perfect. No way someone thinks to do that after an actual assassination attempt. I'm sorry, Tim, he obviously has balls and you don't. It's what a MAGA script writer would write, though.
Notably deleted because his lawyer probably advised him to.
But in the time that it was up, 28,000 likes at least. So there's a significant portion of people that we can assume agree with this.
Conspiracy theorists, one might say.
Yeah, blue anon, I think, is the appropriate term for them. But of course, this is completely wrong. And if we're going by the Alex Jones standard that has been set, liable to get a lawsuit because this could lead to harassment of Corey's family and anybody else who was involved at the rally. I mean, come on. And Elon Musk said as much, saying that those lawsuits are coming. Yeah, they probably are. And then you get, I know that there was the segment yesterday and talk about Trump being very popular with Black America. And I can see with certain sections of Black America now he has become quite popular because he is, as they are saying, the real N president, because he's been shot, he's been charged with felonies, the media is after him. In many cases, some are saying that he's more black than the ghetto.
He's got baby mamas.
He does have baby mamas and he does sleep with porn stars. So yeah, he's everything that someone like 50 Cent wants to aspire to, and 50 Cent has put out his support for Donald Trump. I still don't think that he's going to get the vast majority of that demographic in America. I'd be surprised if he even got, say, 20%. Because you still see things like this coming out where I'm so glad Black Twitter know this S was fraud, because I was about to be worried. But then there's the unfunny sketches of this.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Mr. President! Hey, I got some old ketchup in my pocket. Oh, yeah, he did that. Never go. Hold on. Let me taste it.
Yeah, from the same people that brought you We Was Kangs, look at these AI images of black royal family members, We Was the Monarchy.
From the same people that believe Jussie Smollett.
Yep, 83,000 likes, 5.6 million views. Yep, and then you get people pointing out that, isn't it kind of sus that if you look at this threat back in 2016, you see how quickly they get Donald Trump away from the stage when there's a threat of a shooter in the audience, as opposed to what happened the other day, where they let him stand up.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens after 8 years of DEI and the Secret Service.
Well, it's also amazing after what happens when they've already confirmed the shooter is down.
Yes.
Obviously, there is still a potential active threat, but as far as they're aware, the threat has been neutralized. And also, DEI clearly has a part to play in this, as well as the suspicious questions that we can ask around the overall way that the Secret Service dealt with the situation leading up to the shooting. I'm not going to throw out any suggestions there, but I do think that you can criticize at least incompetence and also
a worrying permissiveness for opportunity to someone to take a crack at Trump.
Especially after the head of the Secret Service said that roof that the shooter was on had already been scoped by them, and they could have put someone on there, but there was a slope, which was far too dangerous to put Secret Servicemen on.
The slope that the Secret Serviceman that had the sniper that actually shot back at the shooter was on was far steeper. The slope on the top of the White House, where they're permanently stationed, is steeper.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
Yeah.
Clearly bollocks, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to ask questions about that. But to somebody who gets almost 10 million views, 145,000 likes, the difference in two situations means staged. And obviously, it's always staged because they make it just way too obvious so that this person who has the Twitter @ of a bot, let's be perfectly honest here, first name numbers, can recognize it. That's how you know.
Yeah, let's say we're delusional schizophrenics and we think this must be staged, because the other one, which had fewer contingencies baked into it, was caught earlier. So the one where they noticed a guy who had a firearm who somehow got past security, didn't fire a shot off, didn't injure anyone, and they got Trump off stage. That's not staged. But the one where he shot multiple shots, we've got the bullets whizzing past Trump on film and on camera. It clipped his ear, I think, twice, actually. You've got part of his ear being blown off. You can see it. A man died and has bereaved his family. 2 other people were injured. And we've got video footage from people, I assume, involved in the whole scripted event, standing around the perimeter, yelling at police officers, hey, there's a guy up there. I assume all of this is just one elaborate WWE performance.
Clearly, he's got experience. He got stone cold stunned, so maybe it was Austin holding the rifle the whole time.
Just
it only makes sense. I just want to point out as well that the last Russian on Rumble sent in $2 and said to us, the Trump playing golf the day after being shot was community noted. Apparently a video from 2023. At least that was the note that showed up in my notifications. I don't know about that because I believe it was reported on in the news as well that he was out and about golfing the day after.
He'd be perfectly entitled to take his mind off of it, whether or not that is the case.
And was speaking to people, but the video itself might be from 2023. So I can't confirm that, but I have seen news reports saying that he was out and about and was speaking to people and was in a very good mood, very healthy, holding himself very comfortably, which is what you would want to see from the leader of the potential future leader,
presumptive leader
of the free world. And then you get more retardation from Black TikTok, like this one.
It's a little weird, that this is America and shooters don't miss unless they're hired to. People often flee the scene of a shooting, but these people did not. Instead, they crouched down, not enough to protect themselves, just enough so they could keep recording. And when they saw that the Cheeto Puff was okay, they erupted into applause, and the Secret Service still did not rush him off a stage because there was no active threat perceived, even though it had not been declared that the shooter had been apprehended. And I'm just wondering something that I can't say out loud.
It was declared, though. You got it from the audio because they're right next to the microphone.
You can hear it. You can even hear Trump say, "Let me get my shoe."
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is, I mean, obviously not to question the logic of Wakandan Einstein. But
I hate you.
That opening statement of shooters don't miss unless they're hired to. Ah, yes, because nobody in American history has ever missed a shot.
Drive-by is famous for their accuracy.
Oh, well, I mean, they were paid to shoot, to miss, obviously. Clearly, the ghetto has a lot of backhanded deals going on.
They're just all dead shot.
I mean, and these are people who think that John Wick is real life.
How many likes has this got?
Well, this is actually St. Clair
okay.
posting this. But it is reflective of a certain attitude. The fact that these got as many likes as they did, the fact that Tim Wise was able to get as many likes as he did, reflects a certain attitude which has emerged from the Blue Anon faction of the liberal left and the liberal media establishment, which is quickly being swept under the rug.
So they all want Trump dead, but they can't believe that someone would also try to actually take a crack. That's their line of logic.
Well,
here.
presumably because they, especially like someone like Tim Wise, would presumably be legally accountable for the fact that they have been drumming up this atmosphere of fear, this environment where everybody is saying that Trump is going to be the new Hitler. We already know that he tried to usurp power through January 6th, etc., etc. And so they create the environment where you say, Hitler is the worst thing that ever happened in humanity. Wouldn't you like to go back and kill Hitler? But we can't do that. So here's a new Hitler. Leave the rest unsaid. He's going to be a dictator, take away your rights, force all of the women in the world to be a handmaid's tale. You create that environment, and then something actually happens, and there's the disconnect of saying, well, it can't be my fault. I can't have done anything to contribute to this, so it must be staged. It must have been written and played out like a TV show, because all of these people interpret reality through television in the first place. They get all of their understanding of the world through Marvel films and TV shows and John Wick. And then there's the other aspect of it, which is possibly that these people are now going to try and sweep it under the rug, or at least these mainstream people, because they could be legally accountable for this after Alex Jones. There's a lot to it. But also, I do think that there is going to be a bit of a sweeping under the rug of this kind of rhetoric now, because it seems that I've seen people talk about that the extreme left is going to get dropped, in all likelihood, by some of the more mainstream factions, because you even see Joe Biden come out and say we need unity. Because remember, when one politician gets attacked, Donald Trump, that opens up the threat for all of the others. I don't think it's out of any actual sympathy for Donald Trump. It's naked self-interest, as these things always are. If Donald Trump's getting shot at, might be me next time. There you go. But one of the best examples of the absolute lunacy that's coming from this is End Wokeness posting this Vox Pops that James Klug posted, where he's going around, I think it looks like San Francisco or Los Angeles, somewhere where there'll be lots of leftists, and asking them what they think about the assassination attempt. And let's hear what some of these people have to say.
It's a false flag.
False flag.
Yeah, false flag.
Somebody died and 2 people injured. What do you think about that?
False flag.
False flag.
I thought it was magnificently staged. It was professionally done. It almost looked real.
Wait. Staged by who?
Oh, by Mr. Trump, of course.
I think this whole thing is staged.
You think it was staged?
Yeah.
It depends on everybody's view. Yeah.
View of the assassination attempt? What do you think? Does it kind of depend on where you're standing, whether or not you agree with the assassination attempt or disagree with it?
I just don't see that being the truth, but that's I'd rather just not make any comment.
Really quick, what are you talking about the truth? What do you mean? Oh, you just don't believe it was an assassination attempt?
No. Please don't.
No.
We're so anti-Trump. I don't even want to.
Was it a bad thing, though? Was it a bad thing? Would you condemn it?
Oh, that he got shot at? Of course.
Yeah, you never do that.
Of course, you don't do that.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's really bad. No matter,
She says, smirking.
Was it staged? Probably.
Staged?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think Trump maybe staged a fake assassination for support? Okay.
as far as I can tell, and this is just my opinion, that guy definitely does think it was staged. But I think that the rest of it you can see there, that's pretty representative. It's a load of people saying, no, of course I condemn it, but it was fake, which is ridiculous. And again, people have already been making a few jokes about this, that, I wouldn't do that.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that. So yeah, it's broke the left in all new ways that I didn't think would be happening, but it's always interesting to see, and that's all I have to say on that. Let's go find out what is a threat to democracy.
Excellent, fantastic.
I hope you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, and if you want to see more of what we're up to, you can watch us have a lot of fun on Lads Hour. The most recent one is on our rejected YouTube video ideas, where we have a lot of fun. And if you want to see all of the other work we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter, and we post links to everything. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.